I think Quan produced this.
Play this record as frequently as possible.
What up, everybody? This is Black Nerd Planet. It's springtime. We're coming at you with another episode. We just gonna get into a few things. This is Jordan Carmichael as always, and it's my homie.
Another one. Oh, my bad. I was supposed to say my name. You know what time it is, man. This little M out here, Marlon. You feel me?
Hey, so we just gonna get started. We gonna talk about Comic-Con we was at the other day. That was about 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah, calendar. I don't know.
I don't even know anymore. That was a couple weeks ago. Indiana Comic-Con. It was a cool little event. We went out there for a few hours on a Saturday. It wasn't really good weather, but it was a good little show. Last time we talked about it was gonna be Marlon's first time going.
It was an interesting. I mean, I ain't gonna say that it wasn't what I expected it to be because I don't know if I had any expectations, and I can't remember what exactly I said on the last episode. A fresh take on it. It was cool, you know. I spent like a decent amount of money basically just on comics. I didn't even really, I walked around and seen some of the other stuff and like cosplay. Some of the people's cosplays, little costumes was cool. It was just interesting. It'd be interesting to go to a big one though, where
It's
people
a
really
lot
like getting into it, and yeah, like you said, it's more than just hey,
Comics
come buy
and
this
stuff.
from me real quick.
Yeah.
But it was cool,
I agree. It was a cool show. I wouldn't say it was good. It wasn't bad. It was definitely like in terms of small. I mean, that's all relative, but yeah, I mean, you at stuff like that, especially in Indianapolis, we get certain big events, but for that one to be, strictly for Indianapolis, I would say it's good. I mean, and I always see good cosplay, like you were saying, and we have a lot of cool, different shops that come out, supporting everything. I got a lot of books too that I probably didn't even really need. In terms of, I was trying to focus on taking pictures a lot, but that didn't even work because I forgot my camera battery died, so I had to use my iPhone.
Inwards, man.
Worked.
You can't count on for nothing.
So that that worked out the best as it could. I try to get a little bit. I wish I'd have did better on that. I agree with you. Going to bigger ones, I guess, is more fun, especially because you get to see. I mean, there's a lot of people there, but when you go to a big convention, it's just so much more like interactivity and different things that kind of catch your eye. Like when you go to a con like that, it's mainly about if you want to go to the panels and stuff, which I didn't do that. You didn't do that.
No, it wasn't really anybody there on the list that I was really interested in, except for it was somebody that I was hype about. Oh, it was a dude from Stranger Things was supposed to be there, and then
I can't even remember his name.
He canceled. I think
he did.
I think it was Will. It was the character who played Will. I don't know his real name.
I don't either.
And I'm sorry, I'm not Google, so I can't just tell you on the spot. But I was excited about that, and then he canceled, or he didn't show up, so I didn't really care about nobody else. I think Hopper was there.
Yeah,
too,
he
from
was.
Stranger Things,
His line was super long.
I don't care about him either. I mean, he was a punk to me in Stranger Things, but that's a different story for a different podcast, I guess.
It was cool though. I got to see Nakia Burris, who's one of the yellow Power Rangers from Zeo and Turbo, blah da da. So she's like one of my favorites, and I got to see her for another time, which I didn't. And that's the thing about going to conventions. And I remember the first time I went, and they were like, "Oh, you can get autographs, blah blah blah." But I didn't know you had to pay to get an autograph or pay to get pictures and stuff.
Man, you know, I ain't gonna lie to you. If I was a famous person, I would be trying to get in on that action too. Because I mean, you talking about like $50 a signature or something. You getting paid, but
somebody
at
like
the same
Stan
time,
Lee get like $100.
I don't even feel like I should be making you pay me for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as an artist, which I'm not really, but I guess technically now, if we blow up off this podcast, don't worry. I'm not gonna charge people for my autograph. I promise.
Sure. Yeah, I don't even like. I don't know. I can't lie. I've paid for that before because it was like I was in that whole hype with Power Rangers and stuff. I was like, oh man, I get to meet Power Rangers and everything. It's my first time ever gonna be a do this. I don't know if this ever gonna be another time. So I did that before, and it was. I mean, that was a decent amount of money, but I couldn't imagine paying $100 for an autograph and
you
getting a
basically
picture.
telling me that I had to pay you for you to write your name down on a piece of paper. Now, if he was signing like a contract or something, sure. But,
no incentives.
You know, dang, I gotta pay you for you to write your name. Don't you write your name every day? I mean, dang.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, I guess that's just part of the experience too. Like you said, that was somebody who you really wanted to see. You know what I'm saying? If that's something that you're really into, I ain't saying don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Or discouraging you from like being like, you know, I'm about to buy that autograph because I mean that's tight to have somebody's autograph still. It's a cool thing, especially if it's somebody who you are particularly interested in, or if it's like a thing that you get signed that's gonna go for twice what you paid, you know, for the signature. If you know, if it's that kind of person or if it's that kind of item or whatever, so that's cool too.
Yeah, because I remember when I met Jason David Frank, who's the original Green Ranger, when I went to Cincinnati. Yeah, we went to Cincinnati convention. It was like 2012. And I was, you know, obviously I'm super hype or whatever. And I was kind of one of those, I mean, no, JDF's a cool guy. A lot of people have issues with him. But just that first time I met him, I guess, I don't know what personal stuff he had going on. His wife was upset about something. So it just seemed like he just wasn't engaged at all. And then I figured out I had to pay to get a picture out of here. So I was upset, but I was still like hype at the same time. So it was just kind of weird, like, you know, and I couldn't imagine being a celebrity and you gotta always, you know, being happy and everything, which nobody's putting a gun to their head and making them do events. At the same time, it's like if you're gonna be there, I mean, you gotta put your all into that. I mean,
you an actor, so I feel like if you're gonna pull up and you salty, act like you're not salty. I mean, do your job. You acting, so act. I'm not trying to be a jerk or saying that you can't have personal issues. Because everybody got a life, and you still got a life to live. But at the same time, act like your life is for you to smile in my face. That's like what I need you to do. I mean, especially like you said, if you paying for it, or if you dropped, you know, even if you drop a couple $100, more than $50, I feel like, nigga, you better act like we homies. We better act like we best friends. Like we been homies since the 7th grade when I see you.
Act like you know me, bro.
Because for $100, I mean, my friend owe me $100, and I'm not gonna be friendly. So I mean, I just feel like, you know, it is a lot of pressure to be that kind of person or to be in a spot where.
Especially if like the character you portrayed your whole life is like super positive or something, or if a lot of kids expect you to be a certain way. That's the main thing. I mean, conventions obviously is for adults, but if you can't make, you know, if you're gonna make the kids upset, then you basically just lost everybody.
Exactly. I mean, because to tell you the truth, the kids is how you get them. I mean, they the ones who they parents is buying stuff. I mean, you know, adults are gonna buy things regardless. You know what I mean? But if you got kids, you know, kids come first, basically. So if this kid come up to you and it's like, damn, man, you're my favorite Power Ranger boy. Oh my God. Wow. You just like, yeah, okay, bro. You need to calm it down. Like, we don't want none of that around here. You need to take it easy. Then this little kid, I'm like, oh, man, he was a jerk, man. I don't want that Black Ranger toy. Nah, you know what?
That's the last
I
thing.
want the Yellow Ranger toy. Forget it.
Yeah, man, and I know that was probably the favorite. You bring up toys. I think that was the best thing I got. I ended up getting the Iron Spider from the new Marvel Legends, and I got the new Thanos figure. It's like a Walmart exclusive. So once again spending money on stuff you probably don't need, but when you want something, you just go get it anyway.
Toys, man. Who don't spend money on toys? I can't think of one person, even as adults. You know, I can't think of one person who ain't never bought a toy. Never bought a toy.
Depending on the genre.
I mean, yeah. You know, just because you like, you know, I don't know. I can't think of nothing right now. You know, I'm drawing a blank. But if you like stuff, you buy toys for that stuff you like.
Hey, but it was a cool experience, though. I got some cool pictures. I saw people cosplaying Bloodborne. That was probably my favorite.
Oh, my bad. But that Bane was cool, too.
That dude was super buff.
He was really buff. I mean, he wasn't a Mexican, but he was buff, though, so that was cool.
Yeah.
It was like Tom Hardy
for
buff.
everybody. Yeah, that's what's funny, too. And I don't even really want to go on a big tangent about it, but, like, with cosplay, it's such, like, a big deal. Like, people get upset, like, I mean, and that's not like they're good people, but if you not the same race as a character, or,
people
you know, it's a cartoon or something, like, why should I have to, you know, be the same race? That's
and
petty.
I mean, I just want to be. This is a character here that we talking about,
Yeah.
and you got to think about even just like in the MCU, and even in like the cinematic U, I should say, and even like DC. I mean, characters get race swapped all day.
Yeah, and
That's
people
nothing.
upset about that too, sadly. That's what's messed up.
So I mean, you know, everybody is entitled to this. This is for everybody. These things aren't just for a specific person. I mean, if Bane is a Latin American or some sort, then you feel me? He don't have to be, you know. He don't have to be. If you want to be Bane, you can be Bane. I mean, they got little Banes, big Banes. It's not. It's all a range. I mean, you wouldn't tell. If it was a little kid who was dressed up, if it was like a little white kid who was dressed up as Black Panther, you wouldn't be like, "Hey, little white kid, take that off!" Like, it's just, it's just, you know, it's just like I said, it's for everybody. So you can't be. I mean, I ain't gonna say you can't be, but it's just messed up that people are salty about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, not to be changing or going, you know, but I don't know if you've seen like the pics for that new Titans show.
Yeah.
They got Starfire, and she gonna be, you know, she gonna be black, and that's tight. Black supports black. You feel me? Out there like that. But on there, like I seen on some of them comments, like they was roasting her like bad. And I mean, I ain't saying that she wasn't like, she didn't look crazy, because she didn't. But you know, it made a little sense, I guess, why they was kind of lighting her up a little bit. Especially with the outfit.
Are you talking about the
wearing.
picture where, like, what did she have, like curly hair or something
Red
like that?
curly hair, like a purple
Yeah.
little dress. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you look at that and like first glance, especially where she was standing at on the street.
Yeah, that was random.
She was kind of a sex worker or something. You would feel some type of way about that picture. Like they didn't really. It wasn't like a really good shot of her. I feel like.
Yeah, I gotta look at that pic again.
At the same time, though, that's what I mean. You know, that which. It makes sense for Starfire to be black anyway if they so close to the sun like that. You feel me? You gonna have some color, which she does. But they probably should have gotten like, just for her specifically, maybe a lighter character. I mean, like lighter skin, fair skinned character. But I mean, at the same time, you know, like I said, you can race swap anything. There's no specific parameters to say Starfire can't be black or she can't be, you know, white. Even if that's the case, I mean, there's no reason for you to put a box on a character.
Yeah, no, I agree. And looking at these pictures right now, I mean, I guess I can see why people would say something, but I think it's mainly just her hairstyle is what throws me off. You would think it'd be like straight hair or something.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what kind of hair she got. And I mean, but like, you know, sometimes I guess when you do race swap, you gotta do the whole thing. If you gonna change a character, especially like if you gonna change a character to a black character, then they gotta have black features. You can't just, you know, if regularly she's like a white character, you can't swap her out with a black character and then throw a wig on her and be like, all right, that's you know, because it's not gonna be the same. If you gonna swap a character out like that, then you know you gotta know that they gonna be a different version.
Yeah, and it's funny because also, I mean, obviously it's a TV show, and they the actors, but you know, man, what's her opinion on it? Like, what did she think about what she was wearing at the time? Like, did she think it looked crazy? But everybody else, you know, a lot of people think it
The
does.
general consensus was that she looked crazy.
Yeah,
which, like I said, I didn't think she looked that crazy, but I guess if
It's
you was
okay.
looking at the right angle, you might be like, I don't know about that. But I mean, I guess who am I to be judging?
Yeah,
people
man,
or
it's tough.
whatever?
I mean, I'm hyped for that show though, but definitely
Yeah, for
looking
sure.
at this right now, looking at those pictures, you know, it's always weird looking at photos, and you never know what it's gonna actually look like when it gets on the screen. But
That's
right
true.
now,
That's true. And I mean, that was just like, I feel like that wasn't even like I mean, they was on set, you know, because she was in
Yeah.
costume, obviously, but I don't even feel like that was like a shot where after she was doing something, she was just kind of chilling.
Yeah.
Like they had just like, all right, let's get you in the costume, see how you feel about it, see what it looks like to you, to us, you know, and then we can move forward from that point. Like that's the kind of picture that even the rest of the pictures that was with that one look like.
yeah, I agree.
So I mean, like I said, you can't really just jump and be like, nah, she trash. I don't want to look at that. That's crazy. Why she looking like that? Because I mean, when the show come out, first of all, you're probably still gonna watch it.
Everybody's still gonna
You're
watch
still gonna
it.
turn it on your TV.
Just
And
internet hate.
second of all, I mean, everybody look like what they look like. You can't be. Not so. That's also another thing for another.
Oh man.
It's a lot of things for other things on this show. Just FYI.
All right, we gonna take a quick break.
What up? So apparently I'm supposed to be talking right now. Talking about Fortnite. You know what I mean? Talking about the games that we've been playing lately. Really, not even just. I guess it's specifically Fortnite because I've been playing a lot of Fortnite and I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty. I'm really into World War II. I think for me right now, this is probably my favorite Call of Duty that I can think of besides like the classics, you know what I mean? But I don't know how I feel about Fortnite yet. I'm still on the fence, I guess, because I don't like it. I think personally it's a stupid game.
Why is it a stupid game?
Because I don't care about building up stuff. I don't want to build a fort. I don't the idea.
I can see that.
And like, I don't want to be like sometimes, you know, you might be building something, and what I like to call you getting caught with your papers out. Somebody run up on you, and you got the blueprint and a pencil in your hand.
Yeah.
You can either build something, you know what I'm saying, to try to defend yourself, or basically just get shot. Because, I mean, if you building, you got to be a fast builder, especially if you're not playing on a computer. Because I feel like if you playing on a computer, you probably throw some stuff together real quick,
Yeah, I can
obviously.
see that.
But like when you
I've
playing
heard
on a
it's
game,
different.
like, you know, you playing on a PlayStation or the Xbox or something, it's almost like you get trapped in defense mode.
Yeah.
And you don't have enough time to, which, I mean, granted, I could just be garbage. I'm not saying that I'm the best Fortnite player. But I just feel like, you know, that's how it be sometimes. And I don't care about that. But what I do care about is playing with my homies, and that is a great game to play with your friends because it's kind of funny. And I mean, you could definitely get you a little squad together, you and your homies, and just, you know, Fortnite it up. It's real easy for you to be like, I mean, I know you've seen the memes and everybody like, where we landing, boys? Because I definitely asked that question, even though, like I said, I don't care about Fortnite, but I guess I do. I ain't gonna keep bashing them because, I mean, also I said I wasn't gonna give them none of my money, and it turns out that I already gave them like $20. So
You did put some money on there. That's funny.
I bought it because I was getting those maps I was buying those new War Machine maps, and so I had bought a PlayStation card, like $25 worth, just enough to get the maps. So I just spent the extra $10 or $15 or whatever on Fortnite stuff.
Yeah, I had thought about spending money on there because obviously, well, if you don't know, it's a free game, free to play. But like a lot of games now, it's microtransactions you can use to. In this case, you can basically get more rewards for putting the time in essentially, or however many kills you get, stuff like that. How well you place in a game. Also with Fortnite, because it is a new. Well, it's not really a new thing, but it's pretty popular now. The 100 people on an island situation, and one person is gonna win the game essentially. Or if you can do teams of up to 4 people, so one team is gonna win. But I agree with you because, well, I agree with you in the sense of I know I'm trash, but it's kind of like with Call of Duty when that first came out, and I was definitely trash at that, which I'm not really good at that now. But it's definitely a different learning curve because, like you said, you gotta know how to build. And when you're new to the game, you're just focused on not dying. And when you do see somebody, you're like, okay, I need to learn how to shoot that person. But they ended up building like a
fort right in your
Trojan
face,
horse.
Right in your face.
and that's something I try to watch a couple people on YouTube or Twitch and see how they play, or when you get killed and they got the little it shows you the person that killed you, what they doing, so you try to see how they play the game.
And I didn't know, sorry to cut you off, but when that person who killed you gets killed, you just keep watching in the line of the people that killed that person,
which that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. I like the idea, the concept behind that. In terms of kill cams and whatnot.
Which I guess it's funny because it being a free game, and I don't really feel like I have to I don't have to be good to have fun with it. I guess it's definitely. I mean, like any game, if you better at it or more skilled, then you're gonna have more fun. But in this game, like you were saying, it's definitely playing with friends. That kind of helps. You just kind of messing around and stuff.
And it's just it's such an open world where you can just kind of, even if you, like you say, even if you don't know what you're doing, you just kind of run around and tear stuff up and just kind of have a goofy little time. And I mean, it's funny when a guy sneaks up on you real quick, blast your homie, and you trying to battle him out to, if you could save your homie or not. So that's fun to do. But in terms of fun, I would say World War II for me is way more fun right now. But like you said, it's because, your skill level. And I feel like this is the best Call of Duty skills that I've ever had in my life, where I'm a little more worried about my kill death ratio and keeping
going to the dark side of Call of Duty.
Just keeping it positive and doing contracts and stuff, and just completing contracts and unlocking new this and new that, and now they got weapon charms, and it's just Call of Duty right now for me is go-to. It's my go-to game.
Yeah, I haven't even played Call of Duty since December at this point, I think. Which I have fun with it, and I think other games really just got in the way because I really just played too many games. But I don't know. I think with Call of Duty, I like because World War II is more grounded, and it's not so much of the shenanigans as a lot of Call of Duty games.
The jumping in the air, flying around.
And I wouldn't even say it's that. I guess it's just more so because it is World War II. I mean, you gotta tame it down because, But yeah, because like you said, like most of the time when Call of Duty gets out of hand is when it has like all the crazy like
Black Ops 3.
I can't even. What are the kill rewards? I can't even think of what they're called now. Kill streaks, yeah, kill
okay.
streaks.
I was thinking that, but I was like,
the kill streaks, as you know, in
rewards, so.
like Modern Warfare 2 made that really popular, and that game was just like all over the place with the different bombs and planes and stuff, and like it's kind of dwindled down. But like you said, they've had all the jetpacks and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure I'll end up playing it again one day, but I guess I don't really have like too much incentive that's making me really want to do it. I mean, obviously playing, with the homies and stuff, but right now I think because Fortnite's kind of new, it's a little more like inviting in a sense, because one, is free, so I don't feel like I wasted my money or my time. But like Call of Duty, since it's been like a decade of playing Call of Duty, and it's essentially like shooting and killing somebody, and I'm not that good anyway, so
yeah, I feel you. I mean, like you said, it just boils down to what you feel like. Because, I mean, in a lot of ways, Call of Duty and Fortnite are similar. In a lot of ways, they different, especially just with it being like a shooter, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, you just kind of seeking people and shooting them, basically. It's
just having a cool time.
Yeah, in that sense. But at the same time, it's cool because I guess I like the concept behind World War II, like you said, just where it's not so techno savvy,
so out there.
Yeah, because I definitely felt like I didn't care about Black Ops 3. Like, it was cool, like you said, it was one of like when it was new, because it was like something to play, like, oh yeah, this is tight. But as I'm playing it, I'm like, oh no, this is not tight. And I mean, I was pretty bad at Call of Duty Black Ops 3, so I guess maybe if I played it now that I feel a little more confident with my Call of Duty skills, I might not be so salty about it. But also, I think I'm so salty about it that I don't want to put it in my PlayStation. I want my PlayStation to read it.
Which with Call of Duty, do you have to pay for any of those like loot crates?
I mean, I think you can. I mean, of course you can. They want you to pay for everything, but a lot of that stuff you get from doing contracts or going to the order master or quartermaster, whatever his name is. Yeah. And just unlocking it like that. Just getting like so many kills with this kind of gun, or so many kills with this division. Just a little specific like side missions that give you a little more reason to run around and kill people, basically.
Yeah, which they've had those for a while, but I think it's a little different because it's like a visual crate on this one, and like airdropping and stuff, which I thought that was cool. But like with Fortnite, it's just essentially just in your like hub world, or what? Not even a hub world, but just like the hub menu system where you just see like you're ranking up, which you have to pay to get more rewards and stuff. So I'm just like, well, I'm not that good, so do I really want to spend the money on just cosmetic stuff, essentially?
Because that's basically all it is, unless you are buying a new axe, because the axes, they actually are color coded. So you could have like a regular one, or you could actually have one that's a little better.
But they but
that's like
smashes stuff faster.
Yeah, a little stronger. A little stronger.
Which I guess that's not too game breaking.
But that's like the only thing that's not necessarily cosmetic, like you said. That's like the one thing that would actually make a difference.
Yeah, which once again, I mean, if you haven't played Fortnite, you have to find the weapons on the map instead of like a Call of Duty where you have you set up I can't think of nothing today, when you set up your setup of guns and like armor and everything. And on Fortnite, it's just you look like some goofy cartoon and drop down from a plane, and you gotta get the best weapons,
find what you can find. You gotta
forge, smashing trees and cars and just anything involved. You see basically in the world, which that's cool too. I kept finding like new stuff. I was like, oh man, I can hit that like TV or something, that turns into metal, or I hit the couch, that turns into wood, and blah 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 blah. But so I think I'm gonna still be playing Fortnite for a little while. I haven't been like jumping to play it, but definitely if you've been like, oh man, let's get on
Yeah,
the
because
game.
you a sucker because I asked you to play. You're like, oh man, I gotta play Monster
Oh
Hunter.
man, you trying to get me on
yeah,
that?
I'm gonna put you in, make sure everybody know
Well, now
that
you
if
brought
you
up
try to
Monster
send
Hunter.
Jordan, if you try to play Fortnite with him, he
I'm
gonna
playing
tell you he
Monster
gonna
Hunter.
play, but he can like, oh, dang, I gotta hunt these monsters.
Well, yeah, and you done brought up Monster Hunter now, so I'm gonna talk about it. Which I think Monster Hunter right now, maybe over the course of like at least the last 6 months, that has to be like my favorite game I've played.
I feel that.
If I've put 143 hours in it at this point, which not all games necessarily show you how much time you've played, but I definitely 143 hours with some of that.
And not all
It's
games
just kinda
even
idle
have
time.
enough
Content
for you to play that many hours.
Yeah.
So I mean I can appreciate that from a third party perspective because right now I don't care about it.
Man, Monster Hunter is just tight because Monster Hunter's been around for I want to say like 10 years. It first was on the PSP and it was on PS2, which I had played on the PSP, but it was like it's the same game now, but they've put it into like new terms where they I guess you can say they've like learned from their like I don't want to say mistakes, but like
just refined it.
Yeah, they refined it and they
tightened it up a little bit.
They made it better for like the American culture of gaming because I feel like a lot of like the way that the like Japanese like creators make games, it's a little more like they can be a little more like secretive or a little more like strict on like learning curves and stuff like that.
A little more complicated. Yeah. It takes a little more effort for you to get to it. And just like America, making it easy for you. No, just
but like in the old ones, like they would be like, oh, you gotta go search for some herbs to, for like get 5 herbs and you're gonna get this reward, blah blah blah, on a quest. And on like the one on the PSP, like it doesn't like necessarily say like where the herbs are. Like you have to like go figure out what they look like, which in retrospect it isn't hard to find them because they're just kind of like the only little shrub that was on the map. But in like Monster Hunter World, there's actually like there's icons for like everything, you know what I'm saying? But the main like gameplay is the like development of learning how to fight the monster, like getting like better, like keep like fighting the monster, getting better gear. So for a lot of people it could be kind of boring because you are gonna end up fighting the same thing multiple times, but it's just something about it that's like rewarding because you do get that sense of like accomplishment, like, oh man, like I was kind of stuck on this monster, like he was kind of whooping my ass a little bit, and then I done got to the point where some monsters, like, one, you just kind of get too strong for like the weaker ones, but then you get to a point where you understand like the way they fight. But there are like grades of monsters. There's like low rank monsters, and then when you get to a certain point in the game, you get to high rank. And then on this one, there's like tempered monsters, which they just have like a different kind of like, well, at least like the icon has an aura to them. So like like you gotta kind of bring a little more like your A game to it. And a lot of the game is also, like I was saying, like the herbs and stuff. You gotta get those to get like new potions or different like armor, like armor potions or stuff that like boost your attack or boost like your like critical hits and everything like that. And you can like equip that to like armor and stuff. So if you, like, I know obviously you play Destiny, so you kind of get like a sense of that where you can upgrade your armor and everything.
Right. But
in like relating it to Destiny, it's like it's just the way that they make it feel is like I don't really see too many people wearing the same stuff like when I do play online. Like Destiny, like everybody's like doing the same gun or like the same armor. But like Monster Hunter, like you can play like any way you want.
So what you saying is basically Monster Hunter would be the next closest thing to Fortnite, whereas Destiny would be the next closest thing to Call of Duty.
Maybe.
I mean, just in terms of like this
Maybe.
conversation right here. Like,
Yeah.
if you was really wanting to forage, maybe Fortnite and
Yeah, a
or
little
Monster
different.
Hunter might be your thing. It's not that it's the same, but each, just the idea that you gotta forage for the stuff that you want.
Yeah,
You
you
gotta
kinda
really
have
go
to
out in the
build
world and like find it.
And I feel like learning in like a little bit in relation, like in a Call of Duty, it's kind of like learning in Call of Duty you gotta like learn the map, and then you gotta understand how to shoot.
It's all about learning the map,
And I
where
guess
people spawn.
knowing how to get that kill streak, or like using your perks correctly.
Attachments.
Which in Monster Hunter is essentially the same thing, because like right now I have a like an eye patch I'm wearing, which gives you like more critical damage like on weak spots and stuff like that. So like you kind of want to build around a certain like play style. Or like right now I'm using like the charge blade, which it's not really hard to use, but it's definitely like a learning curve, because you have to like use like the blade, like the small blade, and like charge up the weapon. And then you can turn it into like this giant ass axe, and you can just like unleash just like elemental damage, and you get like multipliers and stuff.
Aesthetically, Monster Hunter is definitely, I would definitely call it a beautiful game. If I was gonna say, even if I'm not necessarily interested in playing it, just from a graphic standpoint, just from like watching you play it, you know what I mean, seeing it. Just in like a video term, it's definitely aesthetically pleasing, no doubt.
Like I really want you to like try it, but it's definitely one of those games where you can't like force somebody to like it. And I had like a fear that I wasn't gonna like it, because I don't know, I'm weird, because like I played the one on PSP and I didn't really get that far, but then I was like, oh man, I'm gonna try it again, because I have a few on like probably like 4 or 5 on the 3DS, and I played one of those, and I was like, okay, I got to a certain point of that, and then another one came out. I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to do more in this one, because this one looks like it's better, blah blah blah. But on the DS, like the control scheme was weird, and you couldn't really like turn the camera, because there's no like true analog and everything like that. But they ain't got to the point where this, and like I was saying earlier, where they've just refined so much, and it's just so much more user friendly, where I just like it, and like just that sense of accomplishment, like right now, just like grinding and everything just doesn't feel like a hassle to me. It's like the environments are so like beautiful, and like the monsters are so cool, and they keep adding new content. It's like right now they've had like the Spring Fest or whatever, so like all like the special like events have been going on, and like the events can give you like new little like special like items to get like cool like armor. So like in the beginning, when the game first came out on PlayStation only, they had Horizon DLC, so you got to get the Aloy's like weapons.
Oh, from like Horizon.
Yeah, from
actually,
Horizon
from
Zero
Horizon
Dawn.
the game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
And
That's cool.
you got to get her bow, and you got to get her basically you could look like her.
Oh,
And
okay,
then
that's tight.
and for your Palico cat, you could get like an armor for that look like the little like the Watcher sentries, like those little ones that look around.
Hey Lord. That's why I keep thinking about why you was talking, my man. I had to say it.
And then they've had like other little like they just like and because Monster Hunter doesn't like it takes itself seriously to a point of like it's still like a video game. So like there's this one little creature in the game that's not really like a monster, but it's just like in the world where it just like sticks its head up. It's like they call it like Wiggler or whatever, so it's like a little lizard thing, and there was a quest to get that like little like armor head or whatever.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. But it's nothing like, I feel like, a game that is aware of its surroundings.
Yeah.
I'm really into like, if just like how you said, like if Call of Duty had something like that, you know what I mean, or where it was paying homage to not just another Call of Duty with like a classic map, or a map that was from a similar game, or if like they bought like a GoldenEye map or something, that would be cool. I really like when games get other games involved.
Yeah.
I think it's such close-knit world. Everything is so close to the next thing. Every game is so similar that it's real easy for you to just, get with another little producer, or another like game space, and toss them a couple bucks, because I guess everything just comes down to money.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I'm trailing back to like the events, like one that really like is tight is if you're like a Mega Man fan or even like played Mega Man a little bit, they have because it's made by Capcom and Mega Man's Capcom, so they had this one event that just came out where you can get the like 8-bit, it's in 3D, but it's like 8-bit Palico armor for like Mega Man armor. And when you go into like the little arena match, you gotta fight, like it plays like Mega Man theme music and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it depends, like different whatever weapon you're using, it can change to like a different like boss theme song from Mega Man. So I thought that was just like really like tight how they did that. And I know at the end of April they're supposed to do Devil May Cry weapons and armor, so I'm
that'd be sick.
Excited for that.
Like Devil May Cry.
So it's like, and it just keeps giving you like more stuff to like look forward to. And there's 14 weapons, I believe, in the game, like different like weapon types. But like each one has like so many different like trees and like variations of like leveling up. So it's just like it's so much you can find. And then like even when you upgrade a weapon to like the highest level, some weapons you can like augment and you can get like bonus like stats on it and stuff. So it's so many hours you can put in the game. But just like any video game, there's people on internet complainers like, oh man, this still don't got enough. And it's like, come on, man, you put 100 hours into a video game, like you really can't get mad.
That's a lot of time. And even like, which I guess people are gonna complain, but you gotta think about how much time and effort it takes to make a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's not just something you could do.
Underrated, like understated.
Yeah, that's not just like something you could just pull up real quick and do real fast. It's like throw a game together.
Because it's like there's a lot. Obviously there's so many video games out, but how many actual games are like worthy of like your time and everything,
or your money even? Just because there's been countless games that I've bought thinking it was gonna be something, and then it turned out to be nothing. You know what I mean? So I end up wasting my money and my time. And GameStop probably gonna give you 13 cents for it if you take it back.
That.
So you just kind of that's just one of them things where you kind of gotta eat that.
Charge it to the game.
Yeah. So, my man Jordan, what kind of anime? What you been up to? I'm gonna specifically limit you to telling me about anime. Why don't you just tell me a little bit about what you got going on right now?
Well, I'll just talk about Monster Hunter again. No, I won't do that.
We gonna be bored. We gonna be asleep.
Talking about anime. What's really exciting about anime is My Hero Academia came back this last weekend, or the weekend before, and Food Wars came back. So I'm definitely hype about that. It's a lot. Well, once again, it's always anime out. I got on Crunchyroll. I'm usually on Crunchyroll the most when I watch anime. But talking about like Food Wars, it's on season 3, I believe. And I know I've been trying to get you to watch that show.
I have heard about Food Wars. Have not yet. But I've yet to watch it.
It's kind of like a mini anime where, we're talking about teenagers in school, and somebody's really good at something, and everybody's clicking and beefing. But this one's tight because, the name is what it is. It's essentially like anime, for like Food Boss, whatever all them shows on TV where
Chopped.
The main guy, Soma, he basically came from like a little town, and him and his dad run this little like diner, and he ends up going to like the most prestigious food school in the in Japan and all that stuff.
Best food school in the world.
He but obviously you gotta gain everybody respect, because they're like, oh man, you're just some little punk from that little town, you don't know how to cook fine cuisine,
boy. You can't even cook one.
He's like, nah bro, I'm about to cook this dish on your head, boy. But no, it's tight, man, because the first like few episodes really like are kind of crazy, because every time like somebody makes like a really good dish, it kind of gets into like weird anime territory where freaking people clothes are like busting off because the food is so good. But I mean, the show is like, it's not really relying on that though, especially in the last like episodes they've been doing.
Probably my favorite thing is like nosebleeds from
Oh
that. Like,
yeah,
you know,
like
that,
the
like,
nerdy dude.
see a nip, and you have a nosebleed.
But Food Wars is tight, man. Like, it's just something about it. Like, I've never, like, I mean, obviously everybody likes food, but
Not
something
me.
about this show,
Just
yeah,
eat to
you're
sustain.
weird. But that show,
to survive.
it's tight, though, man. Like, it's just something about it, and, like, the art is so tight. I mean, once again, internet people like, oh, man, this anime is trash, man. No, that mug is tight.
I mean, you know, everybody has that one little show that only you like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not necessarily saying that that's that type of show, but you know,
Everybody got that
everybody
one
got
thing.
that one little show that you try to put, even when you try to put, you know, you like, yo, you need to watch this. Like, even with Academia, you know, at first I wasn't necessarily opposed to watching it, but I just never got around to watching it.
Yeah, you had just came off of One Punch Man
That's
too.
true. That's all I could think about. I was reading the manga. I was watching the show. I watched the show like 5 times in a row, back to back. I just had it on repeat. Where it just after the 10th episode went off, it just started back over from episode 1. So you know, that's all I could really. I couldn't get enough of
And we still
Saitama.
waiting on season 2 of that. But besides, we ain't got nothing to say about that really on that. But
we'll be talking about that for life.
But with Academia, man, I was kind of weary about it too at first because I don't know, it was something about it. I was just like what are they really gonna be doing? Like, in so many anime, you kind of get like, I mean, they're obviously not all like that, but when you kind of get into that mind frame, like, man, I don't really want to watch like another like Naruto or something.
Another hero.
And that's not even saying that Naruto's bad, but it's just kind of like you kind of want to move away from that a little bit.
That same like hero fighting tournament style.
I know personally, I mean, it's only season 3 of Academia now, and I haven't even read the manga to really give the best of opinions on all of that, but I would personally probably watch Academia over Naruto. And you're a bigger Naruto guy than me, I'd say at this point, but Academia, man, it's just something like with the superpowers and stuff, like, man, it's dope.
It's a good show though, for sure. It's definitely one of those shows that has all of what you're looking for. I mean, because that's kind of what Naruto is. You know, it's dramatic, it's exciting. You know, it's got your action, it's got your little baby parts romance. But that is
romance.
That's definitely what Academia is as well, where it's just, you know, this guy struggling to get what he wants out of life, basically, which, I mean, who can't relate to that? Exactly.
And never really having powers.
Super relatable.
And and it's funny because, I mean, in a sense, he is kind of like we were kind of talking about, you know, earlier today, you know, not recording, but like where he's kind of like a Naruto in a sense, but he's not to the point of like whining where he necessarily wants he wants to be friends with everybody, but at the same time he want to top them.
Yeah,
he wants to be better.
It's more important that he wants to be better than that he wants to be friends.
Yeah,
not that that's necessarily an issue, but that's Naruto's thing. He want to be friends, and then we can see who's better, possibly. But most importantly, let's be friends.
Yeah,
and not everybody is your friend. I mean, and not everybody is your enemy either. You can be friendly rivals.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of that going on in this show. It's a whole lot of friendly rivalries where it's just like competing to see who's better amongst a group of your peers, basically, without it being like, I hate you, I'm leaving. Like, we'll never be friends again.
Yeah. And like we just checked out the episode with Shoto versus Bakugo, and that's definitely like one of those like anime fights. You're like, oh man, it's gonna be raw. Like, you want to see that action, man, and especially when the animation is so good. And I would say like that fight ends in a dramatic fashion where I mean they'll probably fight later down the road. I don't know, But it's cool seeing like those anime fights.
Yeah, for sure. Because, and that's another thing that's cool about academia is like the festival, which I mean, you gotta get into this where I am right now, which is season 2. I'm just like catching up because I watched season 1 a while back, some weeks ago, probably actually some months ago, to tell you the truth. And I've been on Funimation. I haven't actually been on Crunchyroll that much. I've been using Funimation because I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball Z too. I've been trying to backtrack and like catch up with that. And so it's cool that it's more than just fighting. Also, I mean, everybody wants to be a hero in this show basically, but it's not. It's more to being a hero than just fighting villains or just necessarily saving people's lives. I mean, of course, that's what comes with being a hero.
All the intangibles people have to have
you
on
gotta
there.
think about what it takes to be a hero. The struggle, the late nights. I mean, Batman don't. If you think about it, man, Batman don't get no sleep, man. He don't go to bed at night. You know what I mean?
Never.
So it's just more than just fighting villains and being the strongest in the building. Sometimes you gotta be the smartest. Sometimes you gotta be the most resourceful and know how to use your technique to best someone else's technique, not necessarily in a strength competition. So I think that's cool too.
Yeah, with the shonen genre of like anime and manga, which like basically just like the action series of Japanese cartoons, anime, whatever. Obviously, everybody kind of puts everything up to like a Dragon Ball like ranking,
comparing it
which
to
at this day and time, like I feel like a lot of people kind of like got down on Dragon Ball, or it might have just been like nostalgia, or now they're like super. I mean, it's not done, but it's done for a while, and everybody kind of got like on a bigger hype train with it. But you kind of always like, or even I was talking about with Naruto, you always get like a weird like you gotta grade it to like this level, and then anime just has its like tropes anyway, like, oh, it's the high school, middle school kids, and it's gonna be big boob girls, and it's gonna be the teachers that are crazy, and it's gonna be the Vegeta type of like bad guy, or is he good, and then there's gonna be all like the quirky characters. So you always kind of get those same things, but with
I think a lot of people don't realize too is that there are more than just the action animes.
Yeah,
it's
there's a lot of people that don't.
It's such a big genre. It's such a big subgenre. Like, it's so much more to it than this dramatic ones. It's romantic ones, not where you had to watch, like you said, a Naruto to get that like dramatic feel. Because Naruto is very dramatic. It's probably one of the most dramatic ones that I've watched.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, so I mean, but it's a lot more. It's a lot more to it than just the Dragon Balls and Naruto's and even Academias.
Yeah.
So like you said, I mean, even with like Food Wars, I mean, it's a competition, but they not fighting. I mean, they fighting for a spot.
They fighting for spots, but
not
fisticuffs,
like,
not really.
They ain't going to, they ain't squaring up. Catch me outside. How about that or nothing? You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, and you say that because there's a few anime, like, I don't know, I definitely would say my favorite genre of anime is shonen, but I've gotten into a different ones like Nisekoi, which like is a romance and stuff. Or right now, I just started an anime which I'm on episode 2, which I cannot pronounce it to save my life. It's like Lost Rage, Incited Wixos or something. It's basically like, it's kind of like a Yu-Gi-Oh in a way, but it's like mainly like a girl main character and everything like that. So I've only really watched the first episode, but this girl like finds she doesn't even find it. Like, people at school are playing this card game, and then she's like, oh, well, I guess I'll just start playing it. And she goes to the store and gets the game, but she ends up figuring out that some people are like able to like go deeper with the game, and you get like a special like character card that ends up like imprinting on your life essentially, and you like end up going to this like new dimension, and there's like she figures out there's other people like in the town or whatever that have the same thing. I think it's called like they're like a selector or something. So if you play the game in like this dimension,
static selector,
you get like 5 gold coins, and one of them's like black. So, but you have to keep playing the game, or all your coins are gonna end up dying basically, and you're gonna die. So you like, but she was like trying to avoid fighting. So like her first fights end up being like, which is kind of like the anime trope once again of her fighting some like D-bag who's like, oh man, I'm just fighting all the weaklings so I can stay alive. But you know, she ends up like overcoming it. So I mean, I'm interested in seeing where it goes, because it is kind of like a different take on a Yu-Gi-Oh like thing.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
So I don't know, I'm looking forward to that. I need to finish JoJo's Bizarre Adventure 2. I haven't. I don't know if I've really talked to you about this show.
Yeah, you told me to watch it one time, and I actually started reading. Like, I read like 1 or 2 of the first like couple of pages of the manga at one point, and it's fuzzy though.
Yeah,
I haven't been asleep since then. So
yeah, and definitely like with shonen, like I would say I would go back and try to read more manga, but definitely just like seeing the action and motion is just so much more appealing to me, because like a JoJo, like that show is just like, you really have to like kind of take your time on watching, because there's a 3 or 4 different JoJos, and they all have different like characteristics and stuff, and like the main villain is the same, but they go through like different paths to get to him. And it's just like, it's super like quirky, and then it's kind of like it takes itself seriously, but it doesn't, because there's like so much like weird, they do like weird poses and stuff, and they like fight all like they fight serious, but I don't even know. It's just a crazy show, man. It's like, it's super gruesome though, so you probably like that.
You know, I like the dark stuff. Yeah. That's funny that you said. I was just thinking about that, cause
it gets pretty dark on there, man. It's funny. It's super funny though.
Cause I was thinking about I watched Parasite on Hulu, and that, honestly, for me, was probably one of the darkest that I watched.
A little dark for you.
It was like, I mean, it was just crazy, you know. It was just like just watching it and just feeling. It was so passionate, and just so many like dark turns where you just, when you thought you could catch your breath and like, okay, it's cool. Everybody's friends. I can swing. Somebody's head is like rolling across the screen. You're like, never mind. I just you gotta turn on cartoons, you know, some regular, like, you gotta turn on like Powerpuff Girls, you know what I'm saying, get you to go to bed. I don't want
nightmares. That's funny.
You gotta turn on something whimsical to ride you to sleep.
Well, you got anything else you want to talk about on the anime tip, or what's going on lately?
I mean, nah, I think we can wrap it up. I think, to be honest with you, people are probably about done hearing us blather on about cartoons.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely gonna try to catch up on My Hero Academia and Food Wars, and
we'll be
watching more. There's so much stuff to watch these days.
We can get a little more in detail about the characters and things, and what's going on with that later on.
I'm gonna persuade you to watch Food Wars, man.
I mean, you know, I'll probably watch it. I mean, you know, I don't care about cartoons. I don't like sushi.
And on that note, hey, that's me, Jordan. Hey, peace out.
think Quan produced this.